This is a continuation of my playthrough for the game Drive on Paris by the Gamers, which covers the opening months of the German invasion of the Low Countries and France in World War I. And we start with the German player turn. It's October 23 to 26. This is turn 21. And there is another battle for Charleville, which I don't have a picture of, but basically the Germans attacked and were repulsed and lost 2 steps. So, it's now time to start entrenchments. So you can see in this picture, I have the Germans starting to build entrenchments here along the river and just outside of Paris, but they're going to try to protect whatever ground they've gained at this point. On the Allied part of the turn, the British and the French do launch some counterattacks against the Germans, and there's repulse after repulse. So at this stage, the guys that are attacking aren't getting any ground. They're just bleeding off troops, and both sides end up losing steps. And what's happening here, the Germans are mainly taking step losses rather than retreats so that they don't have to give any ground. Then we go on to turn number 22. The Germans are just simply trying to buttress their defensive positions at this stage. They're using their armored trains to move units down into the area where they can get into the line. During the Allied part of the turn, the French do continue some attacking in Lorraine, but there's really not much happening here. The biggest thing that happened is shown in this picture where I have the BEF attempting to outflank the German position near Paris. And the Germans have constructed that trench line. You can see at the top of the picture just little bits and pieces of it. Anyway, just off the picture, the British were able to attack the German 14th Infantry Division on that flank, and basically they managed to break through and did eliminate the German 14th Infantry. So that flank is a little bit compromised, but I really don't think the British are going to be able to do much with it. But that brings turn 22 to a close, and we go on to turn 23, which is October 31st through November 3rd of 1914. Mostly the Germans are now just taking reconstituted units, getting them back on the line. I deployed a bunch of them in Lorraine, and this is where the Allies' greatest threat is at the moment, but I didn't launch any attacks. I'm just trying to count up my victory points as the German player. The Allies mostly are bringing in, reinforcements and reconstituted units. And you can see in my picture here what's happened in the area of Lorraine. There's a big gap that has been opened up where the French have split the German army. You see the 9th Cavalry Division is in Metz. That's one of the places I was trying to capture as the French. And basically, the French don't really have enough strength here to exploit, but they can keep the Germans split to some degree, and that's kind of where the fighting is going. And that's pretty much all that happened on turn 23. So we're going to go on to turn 24, which is the last turn of the game. So turn 24 is November 4 through 7 of 1914, and the Germans are realizing they have nothing to do now but wait it out and hope that they can develop a better plan for 1915. And the French players looking for some easy VPs if they can find some. There are basically 2 attacks in Sargenmund, and the attack was very well executed by the French, and the Germans suffered some heavy losses there. But there are trenches, and these hold out for the most part. And there's another attack near Thionville. The French 4th Infantry and the 2nd Colonial are reduced by casualties, and the German 11th Infantry also suffers a step loss, but there's no more combat. And then we go to turn 25. I guess I was wrong that there were 24 turns. It's 25. It's November 8 through 11, and the Germans, bring on some more reconstituted units, but there's really not much happening. Even the battle in Lorraine has kind of calmed down. So we'll take a little bit of a look at what's going on here. This picture here shows the western side of the map. You see Paris down in the lower left side, and you see the lines starting to form along the rivers, and you see some trenches popping up from the German positions in the north. And then also on the eastern map, which shows the area of Lorraine, and you've got a fairly strong French position there, but they're not going to be able to exploit much more than what they've got. And again, the Germans got a little bit of a head start on some of the trench positions here. But anyway, we take a look at the key locations that are held for victory points, and the Central Powers has 76 total victory points, but that's not enough because the Allies, the French and the British, have 85 points. So there's a differential here. It's -9, which is what I would call the extreme end of a draw, leaning toward the Allies. If I had gotten one more Allied victory point, this game would have been an Allied marginal victory. But as it is, by the strict definition in the rules, this is a draw. So World War I is going to definitely drag into 1915. Anyway, this has been a great game. I really enjoyed it. And thank you for staying with me and watching it. And I hope you have a great day. Stay tuned for more videos on other games.